Darts is booming right now, with hundreds of hours of the game shown on TV every single year. The PDC's most important TV rights deal currently is with Sky Sports, which was last agreed back in 2017. That contract sees Sky show around 60 days of PDC darts every year until 2025, meaning that the rights will be up for renewal next year, where the value is likely to increase due to what I like to call the Littler effect. All of the other televised majors are shown on ITV in the UK, a free-to-air channel. All of the majors can also be watched on TV in many countries around the world, especially those in Europe. Last year, the PDC even signed a deal to begin showing the previously PDC TV exclusive Euro Tour on Viaplay, which has Sky channels. PDC TV still show the Euro Tour, as well as all of the Players Championship events and non-televised boards from the UK Open and Players Championship finals. Therefore, there are thousands of broadcast professional games every year. PDC TV also features an archive with hundreds of hours of past PDC games, meaning fans can watch some classic moments back. But what was the first ever game of televised darts, and is footage still available of it? That's what we're going to take a look at in today's video. According to many sources, darts was first broadcast on TV on ITV in 1962 by Westwood Television Company in the southwest of England for an invitational tournament named after the company. A PDC article on the history of darts from 2005 backs this timeline up, stating that darts was first televised in the 1960s. But what if I told you that those sources were wrong and a long way off, out by around 25 years? Let's go back to 1935 and to a now familiar darts venue, the Alexandra Palace in North London, which now hosts the PDC World Championship every winter. In 1935, the BBC chose Ali Pali as the base for its brand new television service and built two studios in the palace's east wing. A mast, which still stands outside the venue today, was used to broadcast the world's first, what was then called high definition TV broadcast in November 1936 and continued to be used until the outbreak of World War II. Before that first broadcast in November, test transmissions took place, and in 1936, a darts match between BBC presenter Jasmine Bligh and Leslie Mitchell took place. Very little is known about that game, other than the fact that it was shown in one transmission. This photo is publicly available, showing the presenters rehearsing ahead of the test. As that was only a test transmission, most people do not count it as the first TV darts game, but it wasn't long before that happened. The BBC schedule shows that on Saturday the 29th of May 1937 at 9:25 PM, a 10-minute programme called Darts and Shove Ha'penny was shown. The Radio Times description states there was a competition between rival teams of two well-known hostelries, which refers to pubs. Darts was shown alongside Shove Ha'penny, a pub game where players shove 5 coins off a board, attempting to land them between lines. The history section of the PDPA website states that was the first televised darts programme, therefore confirming it was the first darts game shown on TV. That means that the first TV darts game actually took place at Ali Pali, which, over 80 years later, hosts the most famous darts event in the world. Obviously that game is a very historic moment in the history of televised darts, so where can we watch it? Well, it's very sadly an example of lost media, which is any media which no longer exists in any format. That's because there was no means to directly record live TV until the end of the Second World War, meaning that none of the footage is available and will never ever be. The only thing that remains is this photo in the BBC archive where the board can be seen with a player standing facing it. There is also this photo which shows a bar that was used during the programme. Despite the significance of the moment for the sport, it was likely watched by very few people, as Geoffrey Hill has been quoted as saying that the BBC service back then only reached a handful of rich households in the London area. Over the following few years, the BBC would show occasional matches. The next happened in February 1938, when a match between a team of News of the World champions and a BBC team took place, with commentary by Charles Garner, the Secretary of the National Darts Association. That has also been lost, but this photo is available, showing 3 darts in the board for what looks like 24 scored. A return fixture of that game took place on the 2nd of April, with Charles Garner returning as the commentator. No media from that game is available. Later on in that month, another game took place, this time between a BBC team and a press club team. A return fixture of that game took place in January 1939, which was still before recording was possible. In October 1938, the BBC showed a local derby game between teams from Islington and Lambeth before a rematch between the two took place in July 1939. After that game, of which no recording is available, no more matches were shown on TV for a while, as the BBC Television Centre ceased all transmission following the outbreak of World War II in September 1939. All that pre-World War II media has now been lost, which are all key pieces of darts history. The decision to televise darts at that time has been called unusual, as the average viewer that could afford a TV back then was likely to be middle or upper class, and thus likely to view darts as novel. Patrick Chaplin has stated that it was included as the BBC felt it was a worthy inclusion on its schedule, and due to the fact that it was simple from a technical perspective to broadcast the game. Although no records exist, photos show that televised darts matches around those times only required 2 cameras with a minimum number of sound and light technicians. The indoor nature of the sport also helped, as outdoor broadcasting was much harder at the time. Darts was shown irregularly on TV over the decades that followed, but caught a big break in the 1970s when a programme known as the Indoor League was shown nationally on ITV. The Leeds Irish Centre, where the programme was broadcast from, has been called the birthplace of TV darts, and a blue plaque on it states that it helped to pioneer televised darts. Many felt that the Indoor League gave TV darts its momentum, whilst the early BBC broadcasts were very novel. The 1973 men's edition of the Indoor League darts saw Alan Evans become the first male player to hit a 180 on TV. In a 1977 episode, Sandra Gibb became the first female player to hit a televised maximum. With modern technology and social media, it's very unlikely that a notable darts moment will become lost media ever again. It's just a shame that isn't true about some of the first televised games, as those would have been great to see. Thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, as it really helps the channel out. Also, hit the bell to turn on notifications so that you don't ever miss a brand new video.